Hey there. Welcome to Content Sancocho. I have to give myself, a few seconds to catch my breath because I get very anxious with this live streams. I don't know why.
Well, it's understandable. I get
Uh,
nervous too.
Here with me is Steven.
Oh yeah, hey, how's it going?
I don't know if it's anxiousness or excitement or a little bit of both, but I have to just kind of chill before I start getting out of breath. Welcome to another episode of Content Sancocho. Did you miss me last Friday? Did you? I wasn't here last Friday because I decided last minute that I wanted to go to church. It was Good Friday, it was Easter, and your girl wanted to go to church. And I hadn't been at church for Good Friday in years. And this is something that I used to do with my abuelita in Colombia. She's the one who's responsible for my spirituality and, how I learned about church and all of that when I was a little girl. So it was a special day for me to remember her. She's still here, but she's not in she's in Colombia. She's not here in America. She hasn't passed, but I just wanted to have that feeling of having her there with me for Good Friday. And also because we had Steven's mom visiting from Missouri and we wanted to spend some time with her and the kids wanted to spend some time.
Yes,
So I just want to
and we had a puzzle that had to be
yes,
completed.
yes. So we were chilling, we were relaxing, a very much needed break from all of this, but I'm back. I'm back and I have a very good episode planned for you today. And but before we get into what I have planned for you, two things. The first one is that we are taking clients for the month of May. So if you're interested in having a full studio in your office or maybe in your home office, and you need guidance from experts like us, we can help you design your studio. We can help you choose the gear that fits your needs and your workflow and your skill level. We can also teach you how to record your content, whether it's a video podcast or videos or only audio. We'll do that too. And we can also set you up with distribution on YouTube and SEO, and we have editors that we can assign to your project as well, so you don't have to worry about the editing. You just record, you're the talent, and then when you're done recording you can send those files to us and we'll take care of those. We also have people on our team that can take care of the distribution and the posting and all that. So if you are interested, make sure that you send me an email at Veronica at pss.media, and then we can set up a time to meet and I can learn about your project, about what you have in mind. The second announcement is that out of the blue, I decided on Wednesday that I wanted to do a giveaway before we send our newsletter on Wednesday, which, by the way, you need to get on our email list so you can get our newsletter every Wednesday. I'm going to leave the link of the newsletter in the description so you can sign up for the newsletter. We share a lot of resources and a lot of good stuff that if you are a creator, you will benefit from this newsletter. It's very fun. I'm responsible for the newsletter. I love it. But the giveaway is this. So check this out. So months ago, Rode sent us microphones, and this is the PodMic USB microphone. And we are going to send it to you for free. It's a $200 microphone, and is one of our favorite microphones here in the studio. The only thing that you need to do to participate in this giveaway is to watch our latest video here on our YouTube channel. The video that we posted last Wednesday, it's called "Can a Person Match Netflix Documentary Quality?" Or we changed the title of that video. Is the video where Steven is talking about lighting and the two camera shot, kind of like a Netflix style set up for your content. If you make content here for YouTube or if you record a solo episode, it's a really cool video. So you need to go watch the entire video, then comment something, leave us a comment there and take a screenshot of the comment and send it to my email as well, veronica@pss.media. Sorry, it's a new email because we recently rebranded. And you send me that, and then I will keep you posted to when we are going to be announcing the winner. Somebody replied to, because we announced this on our newsletter, and somebody replied to the newsletter, and he already left a message. So if you're watching, we decided to extend the giveaway just because we want to give the opportunity to more people to participate, and also because we want people to spread the word about this. We're testing this to see if this is something that you guys like. We get a lot of equipment sent to us for free, and we don't use it all. So if this is something that you will enjoy, so go ahead, watch the video, comment, take a screenshot, and email it to me.
Yes,
Okay?
and the email is veronica@pss.media. And again, the title, because we changed it, is Two-Camera Netflix Setup for YouTubers and Podcasters.
Yes.
It's really fun.
Yeah, we changed titles and thumbnails. That's something that you do when you post content on YouTube. If or for some reason your content is not performing, you do a lot of testing. So that's what happened. So are we good? Are we ready to receive this message? This is a pretty powerful one. I decided to title this, "You are not lazy. You are not distracted. You're just stuck in motion." And I am not just going to share with you information or share with you research that I've done. I've done that in the past with my live streams. I love doing research and I love finding new things. But for this live stream, it was more like a revelation that came to me throughout the week, during the week when I was doing work for our business. And it really, as I was going through it and working through it, some of my frustrations, I realized that there's a lot of you going through the same frustrations that I went through this week. And I'm going to share that story in a moment of what happened to me this week. But I know that there's a lot of us who are confusing busyness for boldness, busyness for taking decisive action. We're confusing those two. And that's why we get frustrated. And that's why we stay in an idle mode. And that's why we can't seem to achieve the dreams and the goals that we have. It's because of that, how confused we are with those two things. So we do the things that are around the thing that we need to do. And I'm going to give you an example of that. So, and I love using this example. We're into fitness, we work out a lot. And so at the beginning of the year, we have this goals that, we're going to lose, a certain amount of pounds, or we want to look good in jeans, or whatever your fitness goals are. And we prepare for it. We go to Lululemon and we spend the money that we shouldn't be spending on Lululemon. We get the meal plan. We go and sign up for the gym membership. We sit down on our couch and we scroll through all of the TikTok videos of people showing exercises. But we don't do the thing that is going to help us achieve the goal of staying fit, or of losing pounds, of looking good in that dress that you wore for, a party 2 or 3 years ago, and now it doesn't fit because you have a panza. Veronica. Talking about me. So we get trapped in this cycle, because it looks good. It feels good. Our brain feels like we're moving forward. We see all the Amazon boxes piling up with equipment, and it feels like, yes, we got this. We got this. We have what we need. We're going to start recording. We're preparing for it. And then a month goes by, and then And then 3 months, 6 months, a year goes by, and the boxes are still there waiting for us, like screaming, please, like, or maybe you got as far as taking the equipment out of your boxes and you're ready to record the thing, but you get caught up in the perfectionism and I need to learn more. I need to take a course. I need to read more. I need to listen to this podcast. I need to practice on my communication. I need to practice on my performance. And the thing never gets recorded, and your message never gets shared. And that's really a tragedy. So it's a lot of preparation, but you're not going anywhere. And just to give you an analogy of what it looks like is there's a lot of progress, but you're not moving forward. So let's say I want to go to do some grocery shopping, and instead of getting in my car, then I get on the treadmill and I just start like going full speed on the treadmill. I'm moving, that's motion, but I'm not getting to Wegmans, Food Lion, or here in the East Coast. If you're in the West Coast, and if you're in Utah, is Harmon's.
Ooh.
And if you're in California, what's California?
Vons.
Vons. So you've been in motion, but you haven't taken action. And listen, there's no judgment whatsoever. I am one of those. That's the whole reason why I'm here sharing this, is because I am an authority when it comes to procrastinating, when it comes to getting distracted. On top of that, I was diagnosed with ADHD a year ago, and so it's a combination of a lot of things. I have mom brain, I have 3 kids, I have a husband brain. I don't know what kind of brain is that?
You mean you have a husband on your brain? Husband brain.
So I know all of the shapes and versions and colors of procrastination. Some of us call it planning. Some of us call it like perfecting it. I'm perfecting it. But really, what we're doing is protecting ourselves. We're not lazy. We're not distracted. We're just too afraid to do the thing that will get us to where we want to be, that will get us to hit the objectives, the dreams that we have, because that's scary. We're very familiar, we feel very comfortable with where we are because that's what we know. Even if our situation sucks, even if we want to make more money, even if we want to have more influence, even if we want to record content and we want to put ourselves out there and grow a community, this is what we know. We know this, the frustration, the complaining, all of that is familiar to us. So don't judge it, understand it. And if you understand it, then you'll be empowered to take action the right way. So the personal story that I was going to share with you was this week, I have a goal of having more clients. I want to get more clients, especially locally here. We live in North Carolina. We live very close to the Triangle Search. Triangle. What is it called?
The Triangle Research Park.
The Triangle Research Park is a place where Apple is going to open, not the headquarters, but Apple is going to be moving here as well. And there's a lot of businesses, and I decided that I wanted to explore the local market. Well, your girl sat down in her office, and I had a list of businesses that I was supposed to email and call. And I just started, my brain just could not do the thing. I got distracted with LinkedIn because I was reaching out to some people on LinkedIn as well. And we haven't been posting on LinkedIn, I think it's for 2 weeks. So I started thinking I need to create posts for LinkedIn. I need to go to Canva and spend 2 hours on a graphic, because that's what is going to get me to the goal of getting more clients here locally. Right? So that's
very important.
Yeah. And then like LinkedIn looks like a ghost town. People are going to think that we abandoned LinkedIn. I hate that when you go see, when you're about to, buy a service or signing up with somebody, and then you go see their social media and it looks like, like a ghost town. So I started thinking about that. Then I started thinking also, like, I haven't done enough research about these businesses. I need to know more about what they do, about, so I can impress them in the email about how great of a work they're doing. When in reality, the only thing I wanted is to say, hey, we are a media company. We're based here in North Carolina. If you need my services, I can, it will be very easy for me to go to you, or keep me in mind, or whatever. It's just very straightforward what I wanted to ask, because I know that there's a lot of businesses here locally that need to get into content marketing. So it's an easy sell for me. But in my mind, I just kept putting all these obstacles, and then the website, the offers page doesn't look good, and then my head itches. So my head started itching.
What is that?
I don't know, but
Okay, okay.
so it was just like this. I got so frustrated with myself. So what is going on? So I had to stop and really dig deeper. I said a prayer. I wrote a few things so I wouldn't forget the feeling. And I went and did research. And these things, they're not something new. Maybe you have heard them before. Maybe you have heard them in a podcast, because that's my experience. I have heard many people talking about what I'm going to share with you. And it's when you go through the thing that it makes sense. You can listen to podcasts, you can read it on a book, but when you go through it and when you stop and you do the work and you do what you're supposed to do, is where you start being conscious about it. And then maybe in the future you catch it, you stop it, and then you move forward with the hope that one day it's going to go away. That was my hope. So that's what I did. I eventually pushed through. I don't want you to think like, Veronica, like, how are you going to pay your bills? You don't have any clients. Your business is going to die. No, girl knows how to push herself out of that pickle, because I've done it multiple times. So I finally pushed through and got the thing done. And I reached out the number of businesses that I wanted, that was my goal for this week. So I felt pretty good, but still it was a struggle. It was a struggle. So I want to get to the point where, if the thing is on my calendar, if reaching out, if talking to people, if sending proposals, pitching my offer is on the calendar, that's the thing that gets done and nothing else. My brain doesn't get distracted. I don't get anxious. I don't get the feeling that somebody's mad at me, that somebody's going to punch me, that somebody is going to be insulted by me just sending an email. None of that.
Why would somebody punch you?
I don't know, but that's how my body reacts.
There's just someone around the corner that's just going to run into your office and just give you a good mamonazo right in the face.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So what all of that is about. And let me know in the comments if you've gone through this, like procrastination, overthinking, not taking action, getting distracted. Let me know in the comments if you've gone through this. I'm interested to know your story. But so I came to the conclusion that there's a difference between motion and action. So motion, it feels like progress. It truly feels that you are moving forward. It looks like organizing your desk when you should be writing the draft for your book, right? It looks like tweaking your logo or obsessing over the font of your website when you should be putting together that proposal or setting that email with your pitch. It looks like, outlining your content, purchasing the equipment, trashing a whole day of you recording the content because you didn't like it, because that perfectionism is taking over, and it causes you to not to achieve what you want to achieve. So it's motion, you're still doing the thing, but you're not going anywhere. And action is the opposite. Action is you doing the thing purposely. It's you doing the thing that you're supposed to do that will get you where you want to go. So, with my example, if I want to get more clients, like obsessing over a Canva design that I'm going to post on LinkedIn and only 3 people will see, then it was for me just picking up the phone and dialing the number and getting connected with somebody in marketing and talk to that person and maybe making um, a friend or not a friend, making a best friend, on the phone. But out of those, maybe somebody will say yes, and I will take them to coffee, because who wouldn't go to coffee with me? I'm nice. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, that's weird. I'm just going to say it. What I'm doing, that's the whole reason why I'm reacting the way I'm reacting, because calling people and inviting them to coffee, pretty weird.
A little terrifying. It can seem a little
terrifying.
weird, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then if you're an antisocial like me, you think that everybody else is antisocial. So, because if somebody were to ask me for coffee, I would say no. I would say no, gracias.
Or you might say yes and then like last minute
Not show
decide
up.
that there's a reason
Yeah.
that you wouldn't show up. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's not even isolation. You're just talking almost about introversion.
Yeah, introversion.
And I think that as you, I don't know, it's a tricky thing.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. But one of the things that we're going to talk about towards the end of this episode is like leaning into discomfort. And that is going to be my motto, my motto, my motto, motto, my motto, 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 my motto for the rest of my life. Because discomfort is the sign that I'm doing things right, that I'm moving, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I don't want to be me. I don't want to be this person. I want to be different. So it looks like whatever it is that it looks for you, like thinking that you have to take another course, thinking that you have to build your system to perfection. With us, it's like thinking that we need to have that course complete and all ready, and then you try to sell it, and then that's not what people wanted, so we spend all the time creating something that people don't want. Motion is seductive because it keeps you safe. It gives you this feeling of safety. It's like, okay, yeah, you're moving, yeah, you're getting there, but you're not scaring yourself with things that are out of your comfort zone, out of the ordinary for you. You're staying in your lane. You're staying in your little bubble. So motion feels safe, and it gives you the idea of you achieving things. It comes with a price, though, because when you don't get out of your bubble, then what happens? You don't grow. You don't meet people. When they invite you for coffee and you say no, or you say yes and don't show up, then you are probably missing out on the opportunity to meeting that next business partner or client that is going to change your business radically. So it comes with that price. It comes with the price of rejection too. You're not getting rejected because you are not putting yourself out there, asking for things, seeking that human interaction, asking for what you want. Because when you do that, rejection is a given. Some people will like you, some people don't. They're not gonna like you, and that's okay. You don't like everybody. So in order for you to put yourself out there and to get out of your bubble, then you're going to have to experience a lot of rejection. And for some of us who have childhood trauma, who have felt rejected in the past, and that has imprinted just this bad taste in our mouth, and we just avoid that like the plague. So the idea of you reaching out and meeting new people, and knowing that maybe somebody is going to say no to your pitch, that nobody's going to say no to your service, that somebody is going to say no to you inviting them to coffee. It feels not nice, you know? And when you get no rejection, you're not growing, you're not getting, those feelings, the discomfort. It's just this door that it opens up for you to get curious and see what's going on there. And if you don't get rejected, then also you don't get feedback. And that's the most valuable feedback that you can get. Because when somebody says yes, that they're already sold, they already like you. They're already, if you're applying for a job, then they already like your resume. They want you on their team. If you are, having meeting with a potential client, and they say yes, there's not a lot of questioning. You just like move on with the next stage, right? But with rejections, then you can't inquire a little further and see what's going on there. Maybe there's something that you need to change about the way that you approach people. Maybe there's something that, with your content, if you get the negative comment, the maybe people, don't like the way you say certain things, and that's, some of that feedback can be valuable for you to adopt and to change and to evolve and not be so stuck. And also, you don't experience any risk. And life is all about taking risks. And that is something that it has taken me a lot of conscious working on it, just to feel okay with things not being okay, and with me not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow, and with me just taking action just by faith that things will be okay. And we're in the process of growing our business, of hiring people to our team, of all this changes, and that those come with risks. And that's something that just being emotion and not in action robs you for, is you don't experience rejection, therefore you don't experience feedback, and therefore you don't experience what it feels to do something risky, which can be thrilling. And also, you experience no results because you are going to be stuck in the same place doing the same things that have gotten you here. If you have the dream of having 100,000 subscribers on YouTube or 1 million subscribers on YouTube, there are people that you follow here on this platform, and you see them and you're like, you have this calling. And sometimes you look at them and you're like, you may be looking at me like, Veronica's not even that smart. Like, I'm smarter than Veronica. Like, I have more charisma. I have a lot more to say, and we look at these people, but we just we're just too stuck, and we're not going to see results if we keep doing the same things that we're doing. If you want to get to that point, well, you have to start making content. You have to start putting yourself out there. You have to take risks and expose yourself to new things, and talk to people and reach out and experience rejection and experience what it is to have this lifestyle, and making content for a platform. So
I really like that. I think that sort of my summary of that, at least the last little chunk of what you were saying, and then I'd like to respond to a fun comment we got from Mike as well, is you're talking about maybe at the beginning getting curious with seeing how much discomfort you can endure, almost as an experiment. Because the more you start to experiment with these things, then the more you teach your nervous system that, hey, I can actually survive and I surf pretty well here under this amount of stress. And most of the lies and the things that you tell yourself, like most everything we tell ourselves is kind of a lie in one way or another. Those get disproved because you prove that you can stand imperfectly, you can step forward towards doing the thing, even if you don't have everything perfect. Your website isn't ready. You know, you have a pimple on your forehead, even though you're in your 40s, or whatever it may be. And you could prove, that even with the pimple on my forehead, I'm going to get on that call, and I did just fine. I don't even think anybody saw the pimple.
It's like geriatric acne. Is that?
Yeah, but I wanted to read a comment we got from Mike.
Yes.
He says, great messages that many creators or creative business owners need to hear. I'm in the same space as you both, and we need to look deep and take a leap more than we realize.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Motion might protect your ego because, once again, you're not getting rejected. You're not taking risks. So it may protect your nervous system as it is because it's not getting you, in a place where you panic. But it starves your calling. It takes you away from your calling, and that's the sad part. The difference between me and other people, or you and other people, because we get into these discussions a lot, is that we have the calling and we have the courage to, like, no matter what's going to happen, we follow that calling. We wake up in the morning and we think about it and we take action. And so the difference between somebody who's sitting at home thinking, I can do better than this pendeja, is that I have the calling, is that I have the desire, the drive to do this, and other people may not have it. So that's the difference between somebody who is sitting at home watching, consuming content, and content creators who have hundreds of thousands of followers and people that tune in, is because they have a calling and they were brave enough to put themselves out there, and their calling was stronger than any of their bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we say a lot and we articulate with our clients, is that our message or our mission is more important to us than ourselves or our pendejadas, as Veronica says. So, and that is all of our clients that we've worked with that have done exceptional things, both in their professional lives, but then also with their content. And if you were to look at, like, what's the one thing, it's that calling, and it's sort of your life purpose in a way as well. And that's kind of how you can find what you would classify fulfilling work. That's kind of what we're all after. And it usually is something that you don't have to look that far to find either. If you can lean into it a little bit more and remind yourself why you're doing the thing you're doing, suddenly everything else falls into place. You don't have to worry so much about all the perfectionism and all the things that need to be perfectly aligned for you to get there. And you're willing to show up as your imperfect self. You're willing to make progress and build and iterate on yourself and on your business as the ship's moving. But you got to get the ship moving too while you're at it,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I like it. And another thing with being emotion is sometimes it feels numbing. And it's the recipe for getting depressed and for just getting very unfulfilled with your life. Because even if it causes discomfort, that taking risk and that feeling, the fear, is what gives life meaning, really. Like, to give you an example, like, how many times you've gone through an entire week and you don't even know what you've done. Like, I used to do this when I was in law school. Like, I would get in the car in the morning and I would drive all the way from my house to downtown Salt Lake. And I would get there and I had no idea how I got there. Well, part of it was because I was exhausted. Like, law school is a nightmare. But also is you going through the motions and not having any meaning, and not putting the work towards achieving what you truly want, getting distracted. So, if you haven't read the book Atomic Habits, James Clear says in the book, and it's a really good book, you should get it. He says that motion feels productive, but only action brings result. So, results. So what do we do? So why we stay in motion? What's the what are we protecting? What's going on in our brains? What's going on in our bodies? And I decided to go a little deeper and just trying to understand what's going on. And it's not just about us having bad habits or about us just being losers. It's really a nervous system trying to survive. It's a survival mechanism that we immediately put into motion. Like our brains, their whole job of our brains is to keep us safe. Is not to push us so we can get richer and successful. Is to keep us away from anything that we perceived as danger. And our brains, for some reason, perceive a change and getting out of our comfort zones and sometimes talking to strangers like immediately triggers that you're not safe, and our nervous systems get activated, and that's not a good place to be. So when a task feels too big, you feel too exposed, you feel like all eyes are on you, things are too uncertain. For those of you who are thinking about leaving your 9 to 5 and starting a business, there's uncertainty of it can be like pretty overwhelming, and your brain says immediately, let's just shut everything down, let's just scroll clean. Let's just focus on the Canva design. Let's just avoid the whole thing. And that's when we get into procrastination. Basically, is our nervous system just telling us, I can't deal with that stress right now. Let's leave it for later. And that's why we procrastinate. And that's why we don't do the thing that we have to do in the moment to push ourselves to the next level. So it's procrastination is a threat response more than anything else, more than you, being a slacker, or you not having commitment, or you just having lofty dreams and never doing anything. Is a response that your body has against a threat.
And I love this. To interrupt you there, before you move on to your next point, I just wanted to add a different angle to this as well too, because you talked about the overwhelm of all of the things kind of that you have on your plate. But the other thing that causes procrastination as well too is if you were a person who in your earlier life or in your childhood experiences had a lot of chaos around you, especially if chaos in terms of how to make money, since this is sort of the topic we're on for this live stream. If you had a lot of chaotic experiences of that, like people just hustling all the time and money was always stressful and you never knew where it was going to come from, and or any kind of childhood trauma of having like mal paridos as your parents, then actually, as strange as it is, the calm and structure and things being in order and you being on task and on calendar, that could actually be perceived as a danger. That could seem dangerous to you as well. So that's a threat to you almost, because it's like, this is too quiet, this is too calm, this is totally something shitty's about to happen, like this is going to be crazy. And so yeah, and then it seems like our most human tendency at that point is to beat ourselves up about it instead of look inward more deeply about what's going on. Most of it's probably just hormonal, and something that's totally treatable, which I know you're getting to, rather than saying, oh man, I procrastinated, I can't get around to doing any of this stuff, I'm just moving in circles. Anyway, so I just thought that was also interesting, since we've been uncovering all of this stuff. It comes from many different angles, from many different places,
Yeah.
but it usually never has anything to do with you being lazy or not having ambition or not being, socially responsible or a good provider or anything like that. There's something much deeper going on.
Yeah. It's a very hard pill to swallow, to come to the realization that that is you. That, like the Taylor Swift song, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. A tea time, everybody agrees. There's no one to blame. There's no one to blame, is you. And there's a lot of resources out there, and we're going to talk about that because we've been using ChatGPT. And, don't think that we're crazy. AI can help you understand. It can use language that and analyze things the way that you can understand them. It's a great tool, and you don't have to be stuck in your ways that are not, helping you to achieve your goals. And but yeah, it's very hard when you learn those things as a child, as a kid, because you adopt all this beliefs about failing, and about how if you fail, like how your parents get mad at you if you bring home bad grades. If you're not good at something, then all of a sudden you don't have their approval or their love. If you show up, if you had opinions, or if you want to raise your voice and just rebel against certain things, you will get hurt, you will get like physically beaten. So we carry those things, and it's not, they don't stay in the past, they don't stay in our childhood. Unfortunately, we bring those to our art, we bring those to our creativity, we bring those to our business. And then you're like, why things are not working, why are not I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Like, there are certain people who started before me, and they're like, having all these things. You start comparing yourself, and it's because it all comes down to you, really. It being an entrepreneur, and being a creator forces you to overcome a lot of things, which is something beautiful. I don't think you can uh, do that, or you can have that opportunity when you are in your 9 to 5 working for somebody else, because even when you're feeling like shit, you show up and you half ass,
And you have someone to blame too.
and you blame your boss.
You're overworked and underpaid.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
but when you're doing your own gig, you're still overworked and underpaid. It's
Mhm.
just now it's all you. And so, yeah, it forces you into social responsibility and
Yes.
self accountability.
Yeah, and then and in your businesses, everything that you do has your mark. If you procrastinate, if you have those tendencies, it will come to the way that you do things in your business. If you're not good at communicating, if you don't like confrontation, then it's going to be something that we will bring into your business, and then you will have issues with other people, with employees, with clients. So that's why it's important that you do your work.
Yes, and I like that what you were saying, we bring it with us. If I wish it could just stay in our childhood and we could
Yeah.
kill it there. But the elusive thing about all of this stuff, and especially if it is trauma, is that becomes intertwined with your central nervous system. There's spaces in your body that actually store this experience. So it's probably more in your spine and in your stomach and in your adrenal glands than it is in your brain. And so it requires treatment so that you can get rid of it and reset that central nervous system,
Yeah.
and learn to find your own flow and operate in a place of intention where I think the great word is sovereignty. Sovereign. I don't know how to say sovereignty. Yeah, but
Sovereignty.
yeah, sovereignty. Yeah, sovereignty. A tree of sovereignty.
Sovereignty.
It's a tough one.
Sovereignty.
That's why I never use the word,
Because
because
the
I don't know how to
Colombian,
pronounce it.
the Colombian correcting the gringo. So what's the solution? How do we fix this? Or how I am trying to do better, how I'm trying to here collectively, Steven and I, how are we trying to not only thinking that we're going to eliminate those behaviors, because we've been doing them for a long time. You don't even get me started with the procrastinating, because I'm one of those,
A true
like
expert.
a true expert in procrastinating. I clean and clean and clean as a form of avoidance. So there you have it. It's out there.
I'm glad you got that off your chest.
Yes, yes. So I was talking to you about ChatGPT, like what's the solution? We've been using ChatGPT, for some of us, talk therapy was ruined by somebody, either your parents or a spouse ruined talk therapy,
Or
and
the therapist.
or the therapists themselves, you don't feel comfortable with sharing, you don't that's something that you don't see yourself doing, then now you have AI. And could you share how you got to, what was the process? Did you give it a prompt or what?
What I mean, the thing that
You don't have to go
is,
into details, but
yeah, well,
how do you do
the
it?
thing that is obvious about ChatGPT and AI is that it's also gathering user information as well, and that it's pivoted toward the user. So it's going to use language when it interacts with you that is really nice and makes everything about you. That is like just happens to be therapist like first and for like the first principle of being a good therapist is to be non-biased when you're talking to someone and to always make it about them. And it's really difficult for any human to do. And so actually it's happening with most of the users. ChatGPT is coming. I even saw a statistic about it that was very high. I don't remember that people are using it as their therapist, which is wonderful because really there's three different elements you could think of that make up a holistic human, and two of the elements most of us don't even realize we need to focus on, and that there's like these different archetypes or different personalities. And human success between us and between all of us all comes down to communication, how good of a communicator you are. And that's also success in business, that's success in everything. But there's three different people that you're communicating with, and most of us have no idea. And the first one is audience, the other one's therapist, and then the other one's like family. You could probably put friends. You wouldn't talk to your friends the same way, or your family or your spouse or your kids the same way you would talk to your therapist. You wouldn't talk to your therapist the same way you would talk to your audience. It'd be weird. But we don't know that. So what we do, we go home, we get home from work, and we treat our wife like she's our therapist. And it just becomes this horrible thing because she probably should have never been there in our mind during that part. We should be having, all of us need a therapist is what I'm saying. So I really find that ChatGPT is simply fulfilling the desires of the marketplace, and it is learning the user behaviors there and the questions, and it's adapting. The program is adapting and evolving on its own based off of this sort of recycled feedback that it gets just the way it's designed. It's amazing. But to specifically answer Veronica's question without my weird little philosophical side rant, is how you get started with it is you just talk. And voice dictation, I think, is the funnest part of it. And the voice dictation, can be, some people are a little bit more natural at it than others. And you just talk to it, you just tell it your story. And then there's some specific things, little prompts that within your language you can use with AI that will help. Like you can ask it to act as a therapist if you wanted to. But I also like to ask it to cross-reference the most modern psychologists or whatever the thing that you're going through is, like the leading world experts in this thing. Like, can you reference them and read their material to connect the ideas of our conversation that we're talking about? And you can just try to articulate that the best way that you can. And also, I think it's a good idea to ask it to be very truthful to you and say, I want to know the truth. I want the hard truth. I want to hear the opposite of my perspective. What do I need to do to change? What's actually going on? And this is incredible for so many reasons, to the point where, you have so many people that they're very fearful of AI, that it could be like the science fiction novels, and a few years from now, Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be gunning us all down.
I'll be back.
Yeah, the Terminator situation is real, right? On the contrary, I think it may actually hold the key to human evolution. Us actually having that ability to now make up for the lack of reason that our brains have, because the most intelligent, genius people in the world are still lacking in a lot of basic reasoning, it seems. Case in point, like all the tech guys. So it's just a really beautiful thing, because most people will go a good portion of their life without ever hearing the sweet things that these AI chats will say to you. It makes it about you. It says, look, you're really brave for exploring this thing. Let's unpack it together. And it gets into it, and it gives you insights. You say, hey, I do this thing all the time and I don't know why, but I know I shouldn't be doing this thing. And why am I? And then, well, that could happen because, oh, maybe you had childhood something or other. And then you start telling it about what happened in your childhood, and it learns that specific to your specific situation, and spits back a response to you. There's any number of reasons to be paranoid about this technology, as there is any other technology. But your paranoia is just probably one of those other things, one of those other safety nets that's keeping you from progress. Because, as Veronica said, progress a lot of times actually feels and is the thing that we procrastinate because of. I'm actually really close to publishing my book, so you should watch out for it if you're brand new to video podcasting. It's going to be called the Video Podcasting Playbook for Professionals. Only a couple days away from being published, but in that we talk about this staircase, and how at the top of the staircase is everything we want as far as fame, influence. We want to have 2 million subscribers on YouTube. That's where we're pushing our podcast to. But you can't just jump the staircase. You have to go step by step. And if you do jump the staircase, so you have an unlimited budget to do so, there's a very high risk of you just toppling over on yourself and the whole thing comes crashing down. Because the truth is, most of us, where we're at right now, if we were suddenly put at the top of the staircase where the lights get really bright and the spotlights are on you, and that's fame, most of us can't handle that yet because we haven't dealt with enough of our bullshit. So because with success and with fame also comes increased criticism, increased you're under the magnifying glass, and a vulnerability, a real vulnerability, and more responsibility as well. Suddenly now everything you say has a little more weight to it. You have a bigger audience that you have to keep in mind. And so anyway, AI can most certainly help you with that. Not only that, it can help you to start building routines. And then, unlike an actual talk therapist, it can be in your pocket all the time. If you're about to go into that meeting, for example, you could say, hey, can you remind me of the things we talked about? Because I'm really freaking out right now because I'm an extreme introvert or whatever. And it will say, don't worry, man, you've got this. Just do your breaths in through your nose, out through your thing, do your little stretch. And remember, you're supposed to feel uncomfortable. It's through this discomfort that you'll find growth. And you're like, oh yeah, I do remember that. So it can truly be a companion in a way that no other technology or no other human has ever been able to do for humans. So it's a really beautiful thing that if you're not taking advantage of it in that way, you're really missing out. Because you want to just look at things in terms of probability of success and the things that you're after online, whether it be followers, whether it be influence, get your message out there, have your message heard, or to completely ditch your 9 to 5 and just make a lot of money online, either with services or developing products or as an influencer, whatever it may be. All the probability of your success and the openness of your bank account all will increase dramatically with every bad habit you eliminate, with every hard truth you face about yourself, with the more you're willing to take accountability for those things, and the more you're willing to flip the script on things in terms of your own social responsibility and what it is that what that means, social responsibility. I think that's really what's lacking. And as a white man in this country, I can tell you, I'm pretty familiar with it, that it's sad that all the goddamn white men in this country are the ones lacking that. But they're lacking way too much social responsibility. And you ought to at least be able to carry your own weight without putting all of your own excuses and all the things that are wrong with you on everyone else, and victimizing and making it about you in a way that's like, boo-hoo. And in our family, with my own journey myself of going through this, we have a joke of, are you in boohoo town? And I used to be the president of Boohoo Nation. Mm-hmm. So I'm not talking from a place of judgment, talking from, if I'm being stern on anyone, it's myself. But I am also very passionate about that. And I feel like creativity is one of the greatest ways as well that you can find your way out of this bullshit cycle that you keep yourself in, this loop. And even though you're not in your childhood anymore, even though you're not in danger anymore, even though there aren't any gatekeepers online anymore, and you have technology and things at your fingertips that no human has ever had in the history of our species, you're better fed, you're more intelligent, you have a higher life expectancy. I mean, everything's here for you to just take. It's all ready for you. You know, but instead you are just caught in this loop. And so what's cool is you now have tools and resources to get yourself out of that loop. And that's my big spiel. It's a lot bigger than you were probably anticipating.
No, I love it.
Okay, good.
I love it. It doesn't stop with you creating a chat and, you know, sharing stuff with ChatGPT, which, you know, a disclaimer here. If you do talk therapy, if you you know, if your issues are more than what a AI can handle, then, you know, you should be seeking the opinion of an expert in this. But if you go the ChatGPT route, just make sure that you don't leave it just as, you know, research that you did and then you forget about it. And one way that you can do this, and one way that I am doing it, is just leaning towards discomfort. Discomfort is my warning sign. It is okay, and the kind of discomfort that you get because you're doing something new, because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Not the type of discomfort that you get because you let yourself down and you're trapped in a situation that, you know, it's a cycle again. And, you know, the discomfort that you feel because it's the end of the day and you didn't do the things that you were supposed to do and now you feel icky. No, it's the discomfort that comes with you putting yourself out there and doing things out of character. You know, and I don't like to say out of character because, like, you know, we don't. What's your character? You know, we're trying to get rid of things, leave them in the past.
Trying to get rid of that character.
Like you know, and people who come and tell you always act like this, or like, you know, you always they think that they know you better. No, it's like, I'm going to surprise you because I don't want to be the same. I want change. So lean towards discomfort. Do the things that make you, that, you know, give you that shock to your nervous system. Do the ice baths. Steven's been doing the ice baths.
I'm a man who's partial to a nice
The ice plunges.
dip in an ice bucket, a giant pool of ice.
Yeah, that can help you with your nervous system as well.
It's actually
it's
a reset for people who had really crappy childhoods. It's a reset. It's just boom, you're ready to go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just send the email, make the phone call, reach out for that person that you want to interview. Reach out for help. Believe in yourself. Believe in your project. Get people on board. Put yourself out there. Get into those places where you just feel there's just so much discomfort and you just want to scream and you just want to run away, and your brain just wants to, you know, go back to scrolling through TikTok. But no, you stay there in that discomfort, and that's where growth happens. And for you to catch that discomfort, you need to be aware. And hopefully what we've done in this episode is to make you aware of certain behaviors and certain things that we all get into, that is totally us avoiding to do the thing that we must do to get to where we want to be. So when you have that level of awareness, then you can catch the discomfort, you can catch yourself getting distracted, you can catch yourself reaching for the phone and immediately just say, no, I'm going to do the thing that I promised that I was going to do. I'm going to do the thing that's on my calendar, and I'm going to do it afraid, because it's not that, you know, their nervousness or the insecurity, or that all of a sudden you're just going to feel empowered and brave. And you know, we've been doing this live streams, I don't know, like since December, and I still, you know, this is such an awful feeling.
It's truly horrible.
But
yeah, it is.
But then, you know, the first few seconds and then it goes away, because
But it's the best kind of dopamine. And you know, again, it's just all hormones. We're just this big mush of hormones. And something recently I'll add to this that I like a lot that perhaps could be helpful is You can seek dopamine and get dopamine through consumption. That's the easiest way, and our TikTok devices are really great for that. That would
Yeah.
be consumption. Or you can seek dopamine through progress. And so that's the shift that I'm making, is like, you still need to treat your low dopamine, because we're all kind of low dopamine. You need to treat that, make yourself feel good. But nothing's going to give you that. It's like a super rich, rico dopamine when you knock something off your calendar.
When you feel proud of
Yeah, right.
yourself.
After you actually scratch that thing off your calendar, it
Mm-hmm.
feels really nice.
Yeah, so you have to train your attention. You have to train yourself like a puppy, relentlessly. Just come this way. And I'm one of those, like, when I'm tired at the end of the day, I just want to scroll, right? I don't want to do anything else but to scroll. So instead of doing the thing that I'm supposed to do, which is my nighttime routine, putting myself to bed, say my prayers, things that are going to set me up for success the next day, what I do is that, in some kind of a form of self sabotage, is to scroll because I want to get that dopamine before I go to bed, and then I can sleep. And then Steven snores.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So that lean towards discomfort and have that awareness. So when the thing happens, you catch it right there, and then you know what to do.
Something that we've been studying quite a bit over the last little while, again, thanks to AI, is the lifestyles and the routines and the beliefs and the inner workings of highly successful entrepreneurs and people that we've admired. Actually, last week that Veronica didn't show up, she had an amazing episode planned for you that was all about the themes of Easter and sort of faith and redemption. And I think that's where this came from. Just having faith in your calling, that if you keep going with what it is that you know you're meant to do, that you'll figure things out along the way, that you don't have to know how it's going to work. You just keep going. And there's so many beautiful stories of this, and AI can help you find these stories. But one commonality that you find in all of the successful CEOs and startups and individuals who have really overcome all the adversity, and what you'll find out is the biggest adversity they overcame was themselves. One pervasive thing among all of them was this fascination almost with the discomfort. And you would hear him say things like, I use discomfort as a barometer. And that's what Veronica's saying. It's like a meter. And so the tasks that don't really fire up your nervous system and make you queasy, those ones are probably the ones that aren't going to move the needle forward in your pursuits, whether it's your business or your content pursuits. But if the task is like, it makes you kind of like really, that gives you that butterfly feeling in your stomach, then that's the barometer. That's why I'm going to lean into that. I'm going to make the phone call, see what happens, explore this discomfort, see where it takes me. And that's actually where, through the discomfort, that's the passageway to change, and that's the passageway to new places. And so anyway, there's my little addition to that.
These are a few things that I want to leave you with before we end this episode. One is that feel good doesn't always equate with moving forward to what you're being called to be. Once again, I love to use the example of like building a six pack, just being, a muscle person, strong, healthy. That requires a lot of pain. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to reach out to strangers and ask them to, if they would go and have coffee with you so you can share about what you do in your business. It doesn't feel good when you leave your 9 to 5 and that security blanket that you have with your job to venture into entrepreneurship and the ups and downs and the not knowing. It doesn't feel good. So it's okay to not feel good. It's okay when you are working on things that you're being called to do. That's one of the things. So we're going to take brave action. This is your homework. We're not going to do the 40-point or the 50-point to-do list for this week, not the 10-hour planning session. We're just going to do one thing one thing that moves the needle, whatever that one thing looks for you. This is the live stream ending.
No, it's still going.
Oh, okay. Oh, I've been watching the comments. So maybe is pressing record. Maybe is posting that first video on YouTube. That is something that I did in one of my workshops at the beginning of the year. Is that we went through the entire workshop, and then the last day, okay, now you have to record something and post it on YouTube. And they were like we're not ready, but but being in that group setting, having the energy of other people, having gone through their workshop, they were like, okay, and they did it, and they got over that fear of recording and posting something on YouTube. And then they came to the realization, man, only 2 people watch this, and it was me and my wife. So you're good.
The whole world didn't come crumbling down when you
Yeah.
published something on YouTube.
So just one thing that makes you uncomfortable, one thing that you've been avoiding, procrastinating. You don't need to have the perfect camera, the perfect lighting. You don't need to train yourself in editing or none of that. It just takes for you to put up your phone and to record something and post it and share it and be okay with feeling uncomfortable. So just one thing. It can be maybe like recording an intro or recording your trailer for your show. That can be something that you can do. Can be asking for help as well. If you have no idea what you're doing, like it's okay to be like, I can't. And if you have the resources, you can hire people like us, and we will like really push you into taking action. But whatever it is, do it afraid. Do it with the lump of in your throat. Do it like feeling like you want to crawl out of your skin. And I'm repeating this for me as well. It's not only for you. I'm just reminding myself of these things now that we get into the weekend, and next week is gonna come, and I don't want to forget that now discomfort is my friend, and that I'm going to do things even if I feel afraid. So you don't wait for courage. Sometimes courage doesn't come, and we have one life to live, and the clock is ticking. Let me tell you, we're getting older. We're not going in reverse. So
Speak for yourself. I've discovered some
the way that
pretty
you
good
look right now is not the
supplements.
way that you're going to look next year. In a few months, the energy is not going to be there.
Die. Please.
The energy is just not going to be there. So just do it. Do it right now. And the courage is something that you have to work like a muscle. You have to practice every single day. Do one courageous thing, whatever that looks for you. It's about rewiring our brains so they're okay with discomfort. If you look at people who are wildly successful, is because they are risk takers. They're okay. In fact, if they're not feeling the thrill of a risk, of discomfort, they feel, it's the opposite of the rest of us. So it's about rewiring your brain and just to get you to feel okay with staying in that discomfort. I want you to repeat with me. I am done staying stuck. Emotion.
Oh, not me, them. Okay, sorry.
You. Everybody.
Oh, me. Me too. Me too.
I am done staying stuck. Emotion.
Oh, I'm saying it too. Wait, was I supposed to say it? I'm confused.
Okay, well, do you want to?
No, let's just pretend I'm saying it like I'm saying it in my mind.
I'm choosing action over avoidance. I'm choosing progress over perfection. If this is you, if you repeated these things, if you're committed, I want you to drop a thumbs up in the comments, and I want you to repeat it and say it out loud, and put it on a sticky note, put it in your bathroom. Don't do the high five pendejada that Mel Robbins got me to do.
You don't like the high five? Did you do the high five?
I did.
I do the high fives sometimes.
Yeah. So
I mean, I
all
didn't really need, I wasn't one of, I like myself in the mirror. We talk a lot, so I didn't really need it. It was already there, but I
I don't
tried
like.
it
I have a
anyway.
hard time to talk into the mirror. So, and this is the last one, and God, the universe, whatever you believe in, didn't bring you this far just to watch you organize your Google Drive, obsessing over a Canva design, and procrastinate. God is calling you, or the universe is calling you to build something, to release it to the world, to connect with other people, to move, to believe in yourself and walk by faith and do it scared, knowing that you have other people that have done the work, that have walked the walk, and they're perfectly okay. And we are here. We can be a resource, whatever it is that you want to start as far as content creation. We can direct you to resources. We can work with you. We'll fly to your place. Stephen does that for clients.
Yeah, we'll keep you accountable and set a system, build a system for you that works. We know how to get you over your bullshit. One of our
When is
things,
that bullshit?
well, I mean, it kind of is though.
Yes. Yeah, let's just call it how it is.
Yeah, let's just call it what it is, right? But we'll do it in a way that's like really nice. We have the Rico experience, as we call it, which is also something I talk about in my book as well. And that really does come down to this social responsibility. And if behind everything that we do is this strong why, like the thing that has endured for us, like our calling. It's not to be on camera. It's to share what, at least for me and for Veronica and I, it's a little bit different, but it's the creativity that actually creating that is your social responsibility, that, as Veronica said, like rising to the occasion, and carrying your own weight and doing things that terrify you, because one man, one woman is strong enough to carry a whole community, and your ideas can have profound effects on the earth and on humanity. And so it's about your legacy, and it's about the reason that you're here and all of that spiritual woo-woo stuff. As Veronica stated, it can be whatever you call it. But hidden and intertwined with all of it is creativity, because that's the thing that separates us from all the other animals on the planet, is we can create, we can conceptualize, and our self-awareness too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to share this episode of Content Sancocho with other creators. Remember to join the giveaway by commenting on our last video. We already gave instructions. I'm going to repeat those instructions down here in the description. And I will see you next Friday. We're rooting for you. You're on this earth to do great things. We're going to be celebrating you. And we'll see you next Friday.